Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It is me, Nadia the Rose. I'm going to keep this video very short because it's a lot of information and I want it to be as informative as possible, so I'm gonna hop right into it. Today's video is about how to start homeschooling. Obviously that's a broad topic, but I am just getting into the black and white of it. I know homeschooling in itself can be a very controversial topic. I am currently in my third year of homeschooling. So my daughter, she just started second grade and my son just started kindergarten. So I'm not going to talk about what made us start homeschooling, but I'm just going to hop into how you can start homeschooling, whether you're curious about it or whether you have a little one about to start kindergarten and just want to get it started. I think this will be a very informative video just to give you everything that you need to consider. So for me, the most important thing you can do is 1, do your research, and 2, understand your state laws about homeschooling.
Write that down, write that down!
So in the United States, you can homeschool in all 50 states, but the requirement for homeschooling varies depending on what state you live in. For me, I live in the state of Georgia, down here in the South. I don't want to say it's like a free-for-all, but it's very lax requirement compared to a state like New York. So in Georgia, to be able to homeschool, you have to have a high school diploma or a GED equivalent.
Wow.
In the state of Georgia, all children between the ages of 6 and 16 must be in school, whether that's public school, private school, or homeschooling. They have to be in school in the state of Georgia. So when you decide you want to homeschool in the state of Georgia, you have to send in a notice of intent, and that is due by September 1st of whatever year you're homeschooling. I do have a copy of this year's declaration of intent, notice of intent. It can be used with either of those. I do have that, so I'll post it just for you to see what it looks like. It's basically, in the state of Georgia, it's basically a form that says like, hey, I meet the requirements, meaning I have a high school diploma or a GED equivalent, and I'm going to homeschool these legal children of mine. This is their grade level. This is when we start. This is the day we start school, and this is the day we end school, and here's our address. It's very short. It's a front and back. You do it online, and then I have a hard copy just because I like to print it out and keep it in my records. And I also keep it in my email, but you just submit it electronically through the website. Also, in the state of Georgia, you have to teach 5 specific subjects. You can teach more, but you have to do at least these 5 subjects. That's going to be math, reading, language arts, social studies, and science. In the state of Georgia, you have to teach those no matter what grade level they're at. They have to get some form of that. Obviously, you can add in like music, PE, like whatever else you want to add, but those 5 subjects have to be taught. Okay, so also state testing. So in the state of Georgia, all homeschool students do have to complete state testing. That has to be done every 3 years after 3rd grade. So we have not taken that test yet. My daughter, like I said, she's in 2nd grade, so we'll be taking that test at the end of her 2027 school year. No, we'll be taking that test at the end of her 2026 school year. So that'll be like, I don't know, like May 2027, we'll be taking that. I am not sure how rigid they are with making you do that. Obviously, you agree to it on your notice of intent. However, I do know a few homeschool families whose children have never taken it. 3rd grade, 6th grade, 9th grade, never. So I'm not sure if they are tracking that. For me, I don't like to go to jail.
Amen. scared.
And obviously, you probably won't go to jail, but I don't know what the punishments are. I don't really like messing with the law like that, so my kids will be taking it until it's no longer a law or no longer a requirement. I don't know, call me a goody two shoe. I don't like playing. I don't like playing with my kids, and I don't like playing with the law. So I'm gonna do it because I don't know how it works, and I don't need the facts showing up on my door.
No! No!
So we're gonna be doing it. I advise that you do it as well. I don't really know what the punishment is if you don't do it though. So as far as scheduling in the state of Georgia, you have to do 180 days of curriculum. Each day must be at least 4 hours long. Obviously you can do more, but it has to be 4 hours at least. So in the state of Georgia, there's no requirement on when you do your 180 days. You just have to do your 180 days within whatever day you said you were going to start school and whatever day you said you were going to end school. Me, I don't do, like, we don't take every holiday off. Normally we try to start when the public schools start in our school district. This year we didn't, just because my work schedule changed, and so I just waited for that to change so we wouldn't have to switch schedules. Normally we're pretty Monday through Friday. Every now and then I'll pop in a Saturday or a Sunday, or like this month my daughter's birthday falls on a Tuesday. We're not going to do school, so we might pick up and do school that Saturday. It just depends on how we're feeling, but I do love that flexibility. Now, like I said earlier in the video, Georgia is pretty laid back compared to some places like New York. So in New York to me, it's very rigid, very strict. I guess if you homeschool in New York, you're probably used to it, but for me, it would be very hard for me to go from Georgia requirements to New York requirements. For an example, in New York, just like Georgia, you do have to notify them of your intent to homeschool, which to me, that makes sense because we gotta have these kids registered. We got a birth certificate that says a kid lives in this state. Where are they? So for me, I do like the fact that the state makes you register, like, hey, they are getting the education, we just prefer to give them a home education.
That's okay! I'll do it!
So to me, that's not a big deal. You do need to notify the state that you are educating your child. New York, like Georgia, also has state mandated subjects. I'm not sure what they are. I really didn't research too much into it, but I did see that they also had mandated subjects. However, the biggest difference is in New York, you have to send in a homeschool individualized learning plan. That includes the syllabus, the curriculum, the textbook you're gonna use, the material, curriculum material you're gonna use. And for me, we're so, let's try this and let's see if this works, that I couldn't imagine having to send in a syllabus for an entire school year, especially because I plan my school years by the quarter. So to me, that would drive me crazy. I guess if I had to, I could, but to me, that's frightening. Now, I am not one to curriculum hop. I know a lot of people do in the middle of the school year. I do try to start whatever curriculum I start with in August. I try to finish with it in May. But I know a lot of people who get to October and decide, hey, we're gonna switch it up, get to December, decide they're gonna switch it up again. And I don't know if you would have to notify the state every time. So for me, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna stay right here in Georgia where the rules are simple to me. So once you do your research, figure out your state laws and figure out what you need to do to homeschool, the next step would be to pick a curriculum. To me, this was the most overwhelming part because there are so many different curriculums and so many things that you need to decide that I never thought was, you just never think about those things until it's time for you to decide. So you have to decide, do you want to do a paid curriculum or a free curriculum? You have to decide if you want to do a secular curriculum or a religious-based curriculum. Do you want to do an individualized curriculum for your student, or do you want to do public school at home, kind of like a K-12? So that's an option too. So it's just a lot of things that you really need to stop, decide what works best for you. If you're somebody who has an abundant amount of children, like 7 or above, you might decide that a paid curriculum is a little bit too expensive for you. If you're not religious, you might not see the value in getting a religious curriculum. So these are things that you really do need to decide. Now, right now, I'm currently doing Easy Peasy. I have done this all 3 years. It is a free Christian-based curriculum, but this year I'm also doing iExcel, so I'm doing a blend of curriculum. iExcel is a paid curriculum and it's 100% online versus Easy Peasy, where you can opt in to do it online or opt in to do it paper and pencil. I decided to add in iExcel because I knew another family who said that they loved it. For me, we've been doing it for maybe the last 3 weeks. I really enjoy it, but stay tuned because I am going to give an iExcel full review later on this month or next month. It is a little bit on the pricier side, especially if you have children, because it's like an additional cost per child. So after you do your research, you find your curriculum, the next thing you need to do is find out what schedule works for you. A lot of things are going to depend on your work schedule. Do you work? Do you work full-time? Do you work part-time? Or are you a stay-at-home parent? Do you have to go into the office? Do you work remote? These are things that you need to decide when you're making your schedule. For me, I work full-time, my husband works full-time, he works outside of the house, I work inside of the house. I used to work nights, so we did school in the daytime last year. This year, I just switched to days, so we're doing a version of night school. So in the state of Georgia, you have to do 4 hours of curriculum. We start school at 3 and end at 7. Sometimes we do 3 to 6 and then pick up an hour on Saturday. Just like I said, I don't want to get arrested.
If you can't do the time, don't do the crime.
And I don't like playing with the law. So to the best of my ability, anything that the state requires, I'm like heavy on it, because no defects, no jail time. But that's one of the great things about homeschooling is the flexibility with when you can do school. Some people do school year round. For me, I don't. I have 2 children who were born over the summer. So sometimes I use my summer as, like, this summer it was maternity leave. I had my son on May 5th. We finished out school right at May 23rd. And then I just took the rest of the summer to relax and adjust to life with 4 kids. I children. I'm the only one that teaches them, but we are in a homeschool group where we'll get together and do field trips or mommy-daughter days, father-son days. So I really like that because you can pop in and say, hey, we're going to do this field trip. We're not going to do this field trip. And there's no pressure to join everything. They do homeschool skate days, I think once every other week. And it's just a nice environment for the kids to play with other kids, to meet other kids from other backgrounds, but there's no pressure. Now, another thing a lot of people do decide is their homeschool philosophy or their educational goals. Now, there are a lot of different philosophies when it comes to homeschooling. For example, unschooling, not something I know a lot about, or interest-based learning, something I do enjoy but I don't follow. So you can pick a philosophy if you want. For me, my goal is to just educate my children. I want them to be able to function in the real world. I want them to be educated. I do a little bit of interest-based learning, but I just don't forsake all other subjects like some other homeschool families choose to do.
That's crazy!
I want them to have a balanced learning. I want them to be competitive in college if they decide to go to college. That's my philosophy and that's my goal. I want literate children who can function, do math, read a book. I'm very low-key with it. Those are my educational goals. I don't personally have a philosophy. I just do what works best for my children. So that is all I have for you for this particular video.
That's it? That's it?
I hope it was informative. I hope you learned something. I hope you got everything that you would need to begin your homeschooling journey if that's what you decide to do for your family. Now, I am no expert.
I know from experience, dude. You know what I mean?
I've been doing it for 3 years, but I've never homeschooled middle school. I've never homeschooled through high school. I just have experience with pre-K through 2nd grade at this point. But if you have any questions, to the best of my ability, I'll always help if I can. I don't pretend like I have all the answers, but if I don't know it, I'll be more than happy to help you find it. So if you do homeschool, was this video helpful for you? How was it when you first started homeschooling? If you're watching this video just because you're thinking about homeschooling, let me know if you decide to homeschool, if you don't homeschool, if you're curious about anything when it comes to homeschooling. I love chit-chatting with you guys. Now, what made me do another video is I did get a lot of feedback recently on Instagram, because I do drop my Instagram and my YouTube below. But a lot of the questions were in regards to my nursing videos. Yes, I am a registered nurse. I'm still a registered nurse. I still work as a registered nurse. But it's just not, right now, it's not where my passion is. If you have any questions about that, always send me an email, reach out to me on Instagram like you guys have been doing. But I don't really see any nursing videos in the future unless it's about working from home. So if you're interested in that, definitely let me know. I can make a few videos about that. But that is it for now.
See you later.
I hope to see you guys in the next video.